Hi everyone, my name is Tina Gomashian and I'm an immigration attorney here in the United States. Today I'm going to be discussing the Biden bill. Well, it's the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. So many of you may know that the Biden administration is now in the White House. Yes, they are officially in the White House, and this administration is a complete 180 degrees different from the previous 4 years, where basically everyone and anyone was being targeted. If you were undocumented here, you were being targeted whether you had a criminal record or not. And visas for people who wanted to come legally were being made difficult. This is a complete change, huge change, and very positive, ambitious changes in the bill that was submitted. The Biden administration hit the ground running. They submitted several executive orders within their first and second day of office and submitted a bill to Congress which has many ambitious, positive requests for immigration, changes in immigration reform. So I'm actually going to pull up the bill and go over a few of those. But one of the biggest changes is a path to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented immigrants. This is something I get a lot. I get a lot of people calling me, and you know, they're in the US, they're not married to a US citizen, and they came in illegally or they overstayed their visa, and they want to know how they can find a way to be here legally. They want to work legal, they want a social, they want to be able to buy a house, they want to have a normal life. And it's very difficult. Once you've overstayed a visa for several years, you're usually subject to a 3-year bar. If it's over 180 days but less than a year, you will be subject to a 3-year bar. If you've overstayed more than a year, without any lawful status, you'll be subject to a 10-year bar. So many people don't want to have to, you know, leave the US for that time. They have family here or they've established a life here. So what does this bill include? Well, the first biggest thing is a path to citizenship, and how this is going to work is it's broken up in phases. Phase 1 is a temporary lawful status for those who have been undocumented and were in the US before January 1st, 2021. And the reason for that is to stop a surge of people going to the border and trying to get into the US at this time. So if you were here on or before January 1st, 2021, and you're undocumented, then you would be able to apply for this temporary lawful status. And with this, you get a work permit, you get a travel permit, so you're able to travel inside and outside the US, you're able to work legally in the US, you'll get your social security through this. And what's really important is that you pay your taxes, guys, because after 5 years of having this, you can actually apply for a green card, providing you pass the criminal background checks, the national security background checks, and that you have been paying your taxes. You will be able to apply for a green card. And then after having this green card for 3 years, you can actually, well, you'll have to go through additional background checks again, make sure you've been paying your taxes. Providing you can pass the civics test, you can actually get citizenship. So you'll be able to apply for citizenship after 3 years, which is really interesting because unless you get a green card through marriage, most people have to wait 5 years for applying for citizenship. So this is only 3 years. So it's broken up in phases, unless for people who are on DACA, temporary protected status, and certain immigrant farm workers, they'll be able to apply for a green card immediately. As of now, immediately, if this bill passes, you can apply immediately for a green card. And this is a huge breakthrough. This is a massive breakthrough because I have a lot of clients on DACA. And in order to get DACA, you cannot have any serious criminal record, usually no more than 3 misdemeanors, working hard, enrolled in school, got a GED. Like, you're a good student, you're a good person in society, and they deserve, absolutely deserve to have a green card. So this is a big, groundbreaking, positive step in the right direction. So that's the 2 biggest things that are top of the agenda on the bill. And I'm going to pull the bill up now and go through a few more things with you guys. So obviously we have the citizenship, an immediate green card for DACA, temporary protected status, and certain immigrant farm workers. Now, one big thing is there is a waiver attached to this bill, guys, a waiver. And what that means is basically the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security may grant a waiver to those who were deported under the Trump administration, those who were deported after January 20th, 2017, and had remained in the US, were physically here for 3 years prior to removal. You can actually apply for a waiver under this legislation. So that is huge because there were a lot of deportations under Trump for people who really were innocent people, didn't have criminal backgrounds, were hardworking people, had families here. And it was a big shift because previously in Obama, they were really targeting people that had criminal records. And it went from people with criminal records to almost everybody that was here. So that is a big, big step in the right direction, having this waiver. They want to eliminate lengthy wait times. I'm guessing they're probably going to fund USCIS more. They said they're going to deal with court backlogs, training judges, and fund more money into the system so that cases can be processed faster. Another big thing is eliminating the 3- and 10-year bar. So at the beginning of this video, I was explaining that if you entered the United States and either overstayed your visa or entered unlawfully, and you're here more than 180 days but less than a year, if you left the United States, you would be subject to a 3-year bar. You wouldn't be allowed to come back to the United States for 3 years. Now, if you have overstayed more than a year, you'll be subject to a 10-year bar. Now, for some people, the way around this is to apply for what's called an I-601A waiver, and that is for those who have married a U.S. citizen or have a U.S. citizen parent. Now, if you are married to a U.S. citizen and you have a U.S. citizen parent, if you can show that it would cause the U.S. citizen extreme hardship if you were to be deported, or extreme hardship on them if they were to leave and be with you in your country, in your home country, then you may be granted a waiver. But not everyone is married to a U.S. citizen, not everybody has a U.S. citizen parent, and therefore, for those who would be subject to the bar and have no waiver to be able to apply for, this is huge, guys, if they were to remove the bars, the 3 and 10. Another big thing is they're going to partner with the LGBTQ community and their families, because you have to remember, in some countries, it's illegal to marry someone of the same sex. So gay couples cannot get married in some countries, especially Muslim majority countries, and therefore they cannot apply, like most people, for an I-130 because a family-based petition, a spouse petition, because they're not going to have a marriage certificate to say that they're married to their loved one, because in their country it's illegal. So the US are going to actually partner with the LGBTQ community and find a way to ensure that they can also apply, which is a big, big step in today's society. They also want, I don't know how they're going to do this one, they want to eliminate the ability of a future president from issuing another travel ban based on religion, so based on discrimination. So this would be great. I don't know how they're going to do that, because obviously with a new president, they can issue executive orders and kind of push things through themselves. So that'll be interesting. One big positive, request they put in their bill is to increase diversity visas from 55,000 to 80,000. 80, guys, 80,000. So I have a lot of clients from Iran, I have a lot of clients from Armenia, and these are 2 countries, along with many European countries, who are able to get what's called the green card lottery. Many of you may know it as the green card lottery. And you are, there's 55,000 green cards available for certain countries every year, and you can apply, and it really is a lottery. Random people get selected and you get a green card. And so every year is 55,000, that's now going to be 80,000. So that is a big increase. So if you are one of those countries, you definitely want to apply this year, because there's going to be a lot more green cards available. So that's a big step. They want to get rid of and decrease the employment-based backlog, clear the visa backlog and lengthy wait times. I don't know how they're going to do that. They said that they're going to try and recapture visas. So every year, guys, there's a set amount of green cards available for family-based and for employment-based. For example, employment-based is 140,000 a year. But that's not people who are applying for the green card. That's people who are applying for the green card and their families. So if you apply for a green card through employment-based and you have 3 children and your wife or your husband, then the 140 green cards, that you're taking 5 of those 140,000 available green cards. So it's not 140,000 available for people applying for green cards, it's green card holders and their families. So there's not, that's a lot less. So they're saying that they're going to try and recapture visas or green cards that weren't used, and therefore give more people green cards and decrease the backlog. That's something they've been wanting to do for a long time, and so we'll see if this gets passed. One big thing they're going to try and do is focus a lot of money on cracking down on criminal organizations. They're going to stop the border funding wall. They're not going to fund the wall. They're not going to take it down. They're just going to leave it as is, and then the remainder, that the money now is going to be focused on detecting crime, detecting criminal organizations from coming in, and also they're requesting a $4 billion, $4 billion, guys, to be sent to tackle crime in South America, to make sure that the reason that people want to leave, because a lot of times people are leaving those countries in fear of gun violence, gang violence, and so they want to really tackle the crime and the cause for why people are wanting to come to America, to stop so much of a need of people having to come here for safety. So they're going to be spending a request for that amount of money. Who knows if they will get it approved? That's a lot of money to ask for. Another thing, the bill eliminates the 1-year filing deadline for asylum. So if you are filing asylum, you have 1 year to file your request. They're going to try and remove the filing deadline. So that's they're going to increase people that obtain U visas from 10,000 to 30,000. That's an additional 20,000 visas a year. That's a lot. That's a big increase. So it's really ambitious. It's going to be interesting to see how it's treated on Capitol Hill. Again, there was also a memorandum that was released to ICE, Central Border Protection, and USCIS to stop all deportations for 100 days. And that was of yesterday, which was January 22nd. They were stopping deportations for 100 days. And the reason for this is they're going to be restructuring the whole way deportations are handled. So as I was saying earlier, under Trump, pretty much if you were here with no legal status, you were going to get deported. Okay, they were going to try and deport you, and now they're trying to restructure that and focus it on people on 3 ways: national security, border security, and was the executive orders that were passed. One was to stop funding the border wall, obviously, and another one was to revoke the Muslim travel ban. So countries that were Muslim majority countries, certain countries were subject to a travel ban, such as Iran, Libya, Syria. They are all going to no longer be subject to this travel ban, the Muslim travel ban. However, do bear in mind that a lot of these countries, including countries like Iran, are still subject to the additional administrative processing, which means that they are going to check and scrutinize your application a lot more than they would do for like a British citizen or an Australian citizen. So when you submit your application, you're still going to have to wait several months for them to review everything. But it will be different from having basically a travel ban where there was really no point in applying because they were most likely going to deny your case. Now it's going to be different. It'll be the way it was during Obama. So it will take you extra time to get a visa. It still will be difficult because you do have to go through administrative processing, but you are able to apply under the law. You're able to travel to the US under the law. You do not have to be a green card holder or a citizen to come from countries like Iran, Libya, Syria, so on and so forth. So that is a huge step in a positive step for the United States. There's going to be a lot more changes with immigration. This administration are trying to outdo the Obama administration. They're also talking about bringing back prosecutorial discretion, guys. That meant that the lawyers could actually converse with ICE lawyers and negotiate. For example, if they wanted to deport somebody and that person had a family, they had a good job, they were paying their taxes, we as lawyers can negotiate with ICE lawyers and be like, exercise discretion here. This person's being a good moral person in society. And they'd be like, okay, let it go. That went away. During the Trump administration, they took that away. There was no prosecutorial discretion. It was very difficult. They're bringing that back. That is discussed in this bill, that they're bringing that back. So that is a huge step in the right direction. So I think for the next 4 years, if you're in the US, this is the time right now to be applying. This is the time that USCIS, who for the past 4 years have been abusing, and this is not opinions, this is just facts. I've worked with USCIS for several years, and during the Obama administration, if you met the requirements, you got your visa. During the Trump administration, even if you met the requirements for an L visa or for an EB-5 visa or for whatever visa you're applying for, they would unfairly deny certain people. That is all going to go away under this administration. They're not going to abuse or take advantage of their power. I think they're put back in their place now. And so I think this is the time to get your applications in. DACA, you can apply now for DACA. It's open again, guys. The Nixon administration could challenge this, so get your applications in, get them in now. Let's hope that this new bill allows you to apply for a green card. If it's approved, you'll be able to apply for a green card immediately if it's passed. So get your applications in. This is the time to be in America as an immigrant. This is the time to come to America as an immigrant. Get your applications in now. If you have any questions on the new bill, on questions for yourself for a potential visa, please feel free to contact me at www.tcglaw.com. You can book an appointment online or call the office to schedule a consultation. Thank you.